So, we must ask ourselves, what is the dictionary definition of terrorism?
Not since the 7/7 bombings have Muslims in Britain been under so much scrutiny. The rise of Islamic State in Iraq and Syria and the shocking murders that followed has fueled a climate of suspicion and fear here on our streets.
Terror is violent or destructive acts.
At every opportunity, Muslims are made out to be the enemy.
What's wrong with being radical? The Labour Party was a radical party.
I'm Assed Baig, and I've reported on conflicts all over the world. But on my return, I've been surprised to see the barricades have gone up here too.
I'm back in Birmingham, somewhere where I was born and bred, at a time of unprecedented scrutiny for the Muslim communities in the UK. There's been allegations of radicalization in schools and the lure for young people to go and fight in Syria. I've come here to ask how they're reacting, why they think it's happening, and if they think it's even their problem.
This is Small Heath, the heart of Birmingham's Asian community. I've come to the gym where I've trained for years to find out what the guys here make of recent events. They tell me they've been fighting off notions of extremism all their lives.
Muslims are growing into the community a lot more than they used to. So for example, groups that were on the fringe, Muslim groups, are now increasing their membership simply because the mainstream Muslims don't speak about it because they're too scared of being labelled as being radical or being labelled as being terrorist supporters or sympathisers.
The slaughter of thousands of innocent civilians by the Assad regime in Syria is a huge issue here. But threats by the British government to confiscate passports or even imprison anyone who travels to Syria to help has enraged people here.
If somebody said to me, look, do you want to drive a bus full of food to Syria? I'd say, I don't want to go to jail. Because that's the options I've got. And what a lot of people are now thinking is, I've got to kind of walk away from this, otherwise I'm going to be labelled a terrorist. What that does is, it makes me radical. Because I get angry, I think, you know, I'm getting frustrated here. I'm seeing all these people killed, right? And I'm told that I shouldn't be concerned about this.
If I said now I want to help Syrians, I want to stop the Syrians from being killed and Iraqis from being killed. If I express that sentiment and I say, look, I don't want you to bomb these innocent people, and I'm against my government doing that, does that make me a radical? If me not wanting brown kids to die, innocent brown children to die, if that's a radical opinion, then I'm a radical.
Recent high-profile cases involving Asian gangs grooming underage girls has added to the stigma. The word grooming has now become synonymous with Asian men.
I mean, white people commit sexual crimes. No one talks about Catholic or Protestant groomers. No one talks about atheist groomers. It's always to do with people of colour and to do with their sexual habits or their religion or something that holds them out as being different.
But these guys were disproportionately Pakistani.
These people are scum. It's got nothing to do with the colour of their skin or their religion. These young girls were not just betrayed, by these odious people. They were betrayed by the police who knew about it and did nothing about it. They were betrayed by social services who knew everything about it and did nothing about it. They were betrayed by everybody.
Jahan Mahmood works with young people in Birmingham. He points out that the victims of grooming are not just white.
There are many Pakistani girls who've also been victims of grooming, but they don't seem to have a voice. And I understand that one of the issues is because of the issue around honour, is that they are unwilling to come forward. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist and they're not victims of it. I would like to see us look at this on a more equal footing.
Insulting my intelligence. Oh, how these people judge.
In a restaurant in Spark Hill, I meet a group of women, all with varying roles within the community. They are concerned about rising radicalization, but say a hostile media and contradictions in foreign policy is alienating many in the community.
We're constantly told that we're not integrating enough and that we are segregating our communities off from the wider society. But at the same time, when we are constantly being battered by these media campaigns, why would we want to integrate?
There's a lot of apologism within it, so the sense of really demonstrating to non-Muslims and essentially white people that actually we are such a peaceful, non-violent people. Please, please, please believe that and we'll prove it to you.
The Muslim communities are being criminalised, from Trojan horse to Syria to in a whole host of issues, and I think that's what we as a Muslim community feel, is that criminalisation of our communities.
But the government's saying that there is a direct threat from the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIS, or whatever we want to call them, to the UK.
Where's the evidence? How many people have gone and fought in Syria, have come back and committed anything on
Do we
this?
have to wait until somebody does something and then surely that's too late?
There's no evidence of that.
I guess it's all just dependent who your nemesis is.
Things came to a head here this year with claims that radical Muslims were trying to take over local schools in the so-called Trojan horse plot. Ofsted found evidence of an organised campaign to target certain schools. But the guys here told me it's the failure of the school system to teach young people real Islamic values that was driving so many to join the fight in Syria.
There are some people, go and fight in Syria, take part in that war. Why do you think that is?
I think that's more based on lack of education in Islam itself. If someone's educated well enough in Islam, they know that you shouldn't go out to do extreme things or join extreme groups like IS, who are killing both innocent people, Muslims and non-Muslims, and killing someone for no reason is wrong.
I think it's a feel of belonging. They're part of an organisation. They're part of something. Part of something to live for and die for in their case.
Back in the gym, I want to find out what impact the constant questioning of British Muslim loyalties has had on their sense of national identity.
Do you feel British?
No.
Why?
Because I'm being told to go back home online when people, and if I express my opinion, I'll get sworn at.
I served in the British Army. I don't feel British. I don't want to be British, but I'm going nowhere. The British Empire, they said the sun never set and the blood never dried. And I'm a legacy of that, right? And if you want me to go back to India or Pakistan or wherever you want me to go, yeah, give me reparations. I'll tell you what, I'm taking the first ticket back, yeah? And we're talking about trillions. I'm going. And until that day comes, I'm going nowhere.
My journey back to Birmingham has shown me that Muslims in the UK feel more alienated than ever before. There's a real sense of anger that an entire and diverse community is being stereotyped as an enemy within. It's an anger that, if anything, is driving more people to embrace radical ideas.